Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another monthly episode of the Final Countdown. Ba-da-bam-bam. Ba-da-bam-bam-bam. Okay, that's enough of that. This is the Final Countdown, the show at the end of every month where we count down the top 5 of whatever I feel like counting down that month. This month, at the suggestion of Chris the Mole, so thank you, we're going to be counting down the top 5 incarnations of DC villains in television and movies. Joining me is, of course, Chris the Mole, as I just said.
Hello, and it's worth noting, animated and live action count, original characters count, and only one incarnation of an existing character, so it can't be an entire list of Jokers.
Yes. And Anastasia Laserbeam. Pew pew.
Hey. Oh, I'm starting?
No, I was just doing the pew pew.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you can start if you want to go from left to right. Sure, what the hell?
Okay.
At least left to right on my screen anyway. Probably not for you guys.
Okay. So on the very bottom of my list, I liked the Rival from the Flash series. I don't think he's in any other ones or crossed over. I liked it because he's just fighting for his existence, kind of, because Flashpoint fucked all it up, so I kind of can get behind that. So I thought he was more understandable. Like, most of the villains are, like, crazy, like, token bad guys or something. But he's like, no, you destroyed my everything.
And if I understand, if Bolus told me correctly, I have a dozen speedsters for no reason.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's go ahead and Mole. You're number 5.
My number 5 from the Arrowverse.
Ah, nice.
That is, of course, Deathstroke, as played by. I had to look to make sure I got this right. Manu Bennett, I think you pronounce it. He played him in Arrow as both Deathstroke and Slade.
Nice.
And yes, I had both.
Sweet.
They're right there on top of my Arrow. And I say my Arrow because there's a Green Arrow. My one's the one that's the Arrow, so it's before he became the Green Arrow. But yes, I liked his portrayal. He was vicious. He literally kills a main character. He's the first villain in any of that universe to kill a main character directly. The closest we had was Malcolm Merlyn's Earthquake Machine, sort of kind of killed Tommy. But that didn't really count.
Yeah.
You go to him and he literally murders Oliver's mother right in front of him. That's fucked up. And his motivations are kind of cool. You can see why he went crazy. And yeah, I liked him. He was just a great all-round villain.
So his motivations are not someone is paying him?
Nope. His motivation is the woman he loved. Oliver got a choice between her and Sarah Lance, which one would live and which one would die. He chose Sarah, aka White Canary. And the woman Deathstroke loved was shot in front of him on the island. So he blamed Oliver for making the wrong choice when he got the miracle inside him, which is like a drug, and it gave him loads of stuff, and he just went crazy.
Oh dear.
Before this, it was mentioned on the show he was like just a mercenary, so you got to see both the regular Deathstroke and the more anti-hero Deathstroke, and you got to see the armored villain from like the Teen Titans and stuff like that, and he was like full villain, so that's cool. I like that.
That is cool. He must have been really pissed when White Canary died and got resurrected. Anyway, fair enough. Over to me.
Hello. I know him.
I know. Remember me? I remember me. Anyway, so my number 5. Where's my images? Yeah, I went with Brushogun from the movie, the Teen Titans Tokyo movie. I have the name right here. Hang on, where is it? Teen Titans. Trouble in Tokyo. There we go. That was a really good movie. It was a TV movie, of course, based on the Teen Titans series, the original one, not Teen Titans Go, although the voice acting is the same. And I thought it was a really cool villain. The concept was that Robin and the Titans followed a villain that attacked them back to Tokyo to find a hero there who was dealing with his arch nemesis by the name of Brushogun, who was Tokyo's first supervillain. messed around with some kind of ancient magics, and it basically gave him the ability to generate an ink that came out of him that could become anything that he desired it to be. So he could basically create things out of ink and paper, which was really cool superpower, and I really liked that. And there was this whole thing trying to track down Brushogun and trying to stop him with all this power that he had, only in the end to find this, because spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, as it turns out, Brushogun is actually a decrepit old man, and he's been tied up to a machine and had his powers used against his will by the very hero the Titans were allying with, so that said hero could get fame and fortune for beating villains. But I just like Brushogun because, he clearly was, I can only imagine him in his heyday when he was in control of his powers and a full supervillain. That would have been a huge threat. But he also, was sympathetic because of this whole situation. You can see how, he was cursed equally by the powers, in addition to the gifts that they gave him during his supervillain tenure. So I really just liked him as a character. I thought he was pretty cool.
Nice.
Hang on. Logo, and back to Pew.
Alright, I may get where this something is from, so you can correct me, because I'm just remembering that, I watched it on Netflix, so I'm confused a little bit. Okay, I liked the Reach, the alien things that came over to Earth. No, was that in Young Justice or a Teen Titans thing? It was in one of those. It was in that Netflix series where the aliens, they pretended to be good, and they made everybody drink this growth serum.
It might be Young Justice. I haven't seen all of Young Justice because they messed around with it over here. And I know I know that went onto Netflix in the US. It's not on our Netflix.
Okay, well, see, the aliens there, they pretended to be good aliens. They hid a bunch of ships under there, and then they tried to, enhance their growth or whatever by making them drink something called the Reach, but then they found out it was bad for you, and then when they helped defend Earth when it was about to be blown up, they had to reveal they had ships, which they said they didn't, and it just, they kind of fucked themselves over, and it was really interesting how, the whole thing kind of became, silly political, and then not, because everybody loved them, and everybody didn't love them when they got betrayed, and,
Nice.
It was either Young Justice or a Titans thing.
It was Young Justice.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And, Mole, how about your number 4?
My number 4?
That is very rare. Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
It's Lex Luthor for Smallville.
Yep. Played by Michael Rosenbaum. Cool actor. I have no problem with the actor, and as Lex, that is the closest we've had to the businessman Lex that everyone loves in live action. He's sympathetic and innocent because he's Lex early on. He becomes best friends with Clark because Clark saves him when Lex runs into him by mistake on the bridge when this spike thing's on the thing and his car hits into Clark. Clark literally goes in the water, almost outs himself as having superpowers and saves Lex right in the very first pilot. You're like, oh, that's going to come back and bite you. But as the series progresses, you see Lex becoming more and more evil because of how his father treats him. He becomes more the ruthless Lex. And he becomes proper Lex. And he's just a great character. I also loved there was an episode in that where there was this dagger that whoever held it would clearly be Superman's main enemy for the rest of his life. As it's on the floor, both Lionel and Lex touch it at the same time and it turns to ash. So Clark doesn't know who it is and he doesn't want to think it's going to be his friend. And I'm like, oh, it's so cool. And as they're going through, he even mentions at one point there's this prophecy about this man who comes down from the sky and is going to save everyone. It's written on these cave paintings, which is kind of cool. Lex, however, mentions to Clark he doesn't see the person. He thinks Clark and all the philosophers have got the prophecy wrong. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, the man's come down from the heavens. He has the strength of 10 men. Or sorry, I was 1,000 men. He can shoot fire from his eyes. He's like a god. And this one human is going to stand up to him on his own. Clearly, he's the underdog. Clearly, that guy's the hero of this story. And Lex literally talks about why the guy who's going to be Superman's biggest villain is the hero. And you're like, oh my god, that's so beautiful.
Nice.
And you do, like I said, you do get the ruthless Lex. You get parts where he even mentions to his dad at one point, I've lived my whole life in your shadow. Now you'll die in mine, and just pushes him out of a window. or
Oof.
shoots him out of a window.
Look at a cannon.
Yeah, just no, with a gun, he just shoots him and he
Oh,
goes
that's-
flying out the window, type of thing. But and then you get that great scene because Lionel Luthor was redeemed, and you get the scene where Clark and Lex just don't speak; they just look at each other as the music plays, and as they're looking at each other, Clark's looking at him, sort of like like he's trying to look for any good left in him,
Mhm.
and then you see Clark just look away. Like that, like he's too disgusted to look at him now, and Lex just sort of smirks and then walks past him triumphant. And you're like, oh, it just sums up their relationship so beautifully. Like he wants to believe Lex can be saved, but he can't. But yeah, Lex was just a great villain.
Nice. Approve. All right. Over to my number 4. Oh, by the way, I did forget to mention last time that Brush Gun in Teen Titans was voiced by Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, just for the record.
Cool.
And moving on to my number 4. Where's my... And soon he may be number 4, but soon I will be number 4.
Yeah.
It's Lego Brainiac. From the Lego DC Comics superheroes animated movie Justice League Cosmic Clash, voiced by the great Phil Lamar, great voice actor. And it's just a really fun Brainiac, just because he's so quirky and over the top, and he's got all his Brainiac followers, and when they're arguing with each other and everything else, and he's just so fun to watch.
Like each Brainiac minion wants to overthrow the next one up just to move one space further.
Yes.
It's so wonderful.
Oh, Brainiacs will move up 2 numbers. That'll be good for morale.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that was a direct-to-DVD movie, but and I think they did show it on Cartoon Network, if I'm not mistaken. So go check out that movie if you get a chance. That's really fun. And that Brainiac is just really, really fun, with just being an over-the-top cartoony type villain, but still being a threat by Lego standards. So they really make it a lot of fun. Pew, number 3.
Oh, my number 3 is Vandal Savage, specifically from The Legends of Tomorrow, and more specifically the 1950s episode where he like turns people to monkey people, like from Wizard of Oz or something. But but I like how when oh my god, female hawk person, hawk girl, I don't know why I didn't say that for a second. Hawk woman, she goes in there. I was trying to remember
Political
her actual
correctness
proper
gone
name.
mad, I tell you.
No, I knew her superhero name, but I thought like I knew like her name, like proper name. But anyway, so
Hawk, female human being, anyway.
yeah, like so she tries to convince, because they went back in time. So she tries to convince her that she hasn't awoken yet as Hawk Girl. So he's like, she just talks to him and she has a flirt with him, and she's all like, like one would try to think you're trying to seduce me or something, and they just have this whole good like back and forth or whatever. Then he's like, cut the shit, you have my knife, like, and it was pretty awesome. He was just on point.
The actor playing Vandal Savage was brilliant. He looks like Vandal Savage. He has great mannerism to him, and he's just really evil. I liked him.
Nice. Very cool. All right, Mole, number 3. I'll loop her on.
My number 3.
Ah, nice. I didn't think of her. You're right. She was good. It's Supergirl's
This is
aunt from Supergirl.
Astra.
Oh,
Yeah, what's her name? It's Astra from Supergirl, played by Laura Benetti, I think it's pronounced.
Mhm.
I hope it's pronounced that, but either way,
I think that's
Astra
right.
from Supergirl. She's Supergirl's aunt. Yeah, she suffers a little bit from being her version of Zod. However, it gave Supergirl a brand new villain, because to be fair, Supergirl doesn't have a lot of villains that are just for her. And you had the personal, unlike the Zod stuff, you had the personal relationship of, oh, it's her aunt, she's going to be redeemed, she has a tragic end. It's just great. She was a great villain, and she was original for the TV show, and they did some cool stuff with her. And the fights between the two of them going through the city looked cool for a TV show. So yeah, Astra from Supergirl. She's my number 3.
Nice. All right, moving on to my number 3. Let's see here. Ah, yes. Just because I went a little more recent, because I thought they did a decent job with this, even if it was a little overly sexed, because that's kind of how the character's portrayed these days. Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. Because despite the slight over-sexualization, I did think that Margot Robbie did a great job portraying the character, her unique level of insanity, her over-violence, just and it's still being overly perky at the same time. Just a great combination of characteristics that make Harley Quinn. And I thought that she just did a really great job with the role, and she pretty much ran away with that movie.
She did. She was good in the role.
Yeah, to the point that they're spinning her off into a what is it, a Gotham Sirens movie? Yeah.
Yeah, which, like I said, I don't mind the over-sexualization of her due to the fact it's been done in other medias. It's part of the character now. The one that disappointed me a little bit with that was the main villain.
Oh,
Enchantress.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause she looked way more sexualized than what she normally does. But Harley Quinn felt like Harley Quinn to me. I liked her. And you got that cool scene, which should have been more, but they edited it and cuts and stuff with her in her original costume dancing with the Joker to recreate the picture.
Yeah, I really liked that she was in the original costume for a while.
Yeah, that's cool. I missed that in the montage. I have to go back and watch that when I get a hold of the DVD or the Blu-ray.
Make sure to get the extended one.
Yes, definitely. Definitely check that out. But yeah, it's just a great movie, and she did a great job in the role. I thought that was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was good. Oh, Harley Quinn. Pew, number 2.
Okay, my number 2 was Bizarro from Supergirl. Specifically, is because like she's like 100% sympathetic, because like she was made like after like 4 other people like friggin' died, or maybe she was the 4th one, and she's pretty much mind controlled from the very beginning, or like only fed certain information, and this was like done to her. So like she was probably somebody else beforehand, like some other girl who had another identity, whoever, and then like I kind of want to see her come back, and when they fix out like, or kind of fix her, like whatever they're gonna do, because they kind of like made peace at the end and stuff. So it'd be really cool, like how it just went, the whole relationship.
Nice. That was a cool episode.
Technically, if she's female, wouldn't she be Bizarra?
They just said Bizarro anyway.
Yeah, okay.
To be fair, they've also had Bizarro Girl.
Okay. I've only seen the first half of Supergirl. I haven't gotten to that episode yet, so I can't comment.
Yeah.
I've got to really catch up on that. All right, Mole.
My number 2. Just gotta get off my screensaver. Neo before Zod.
Oh, damn, that's a good choice. I didn't even think about that.
Yep, Terrence Stamp as Zod. Neo before Zod. Now, the other version of Zod from the new stuff probably would have been on my list as well. They're very equal. It's just I had to choose only one, so I chose that one.
Yeah, you made the right choice.
And that's only because I'm sorry, he kind of made Zod more known to people, so I'm like, okay, cool. The other one is more serious, and the other one's death's a lot better than this one's death.
Yeah, and then the Michael Shannon.
Let's not forget the second one did die too by having no powers and being dropped in an ice pit, and no one bats an eye because he made a sarcastic comment and showed no remorse.
Yep. Yeah, and according to Michael Shannon, he portrayed Zod more as the military leader that he was always made out to be. Yeah. And so that was a pretty cool direction to take the character in the more recent movies.
Yeah, that's why I liked the new Zod. I really did like him, but I liked the old Zod too. Neo before Zod is just fun.
And the old time he got dropped into an ice pit, but he didn't get mutated into an alien creature that he shouldn't have been able to turn into.
No, but he did get defeated at one point when Superman ripped off the shield that he's not supposed to be able to rip off from his top and threw it at him like cellophane, trapping him in it.
True.
Let's not forget the other ones had equally stupidity moments, but everyone's like, oh my god, they're so amazing.
That's true. That's true.
I still love those films.
Comic movies I am. Let me erase your mind with a kiss.
Yeah. Exactly. All comic movies should have some stupidity. I mean, the source material has some.
It's true. It's true. I'm still waiting for the movie when Superman deprives people of water.
Right, don't speak ill of that.
Of course. We can't be dead. There was levitating dirt. Anyway. Where is it? Yes. And number 2, the movie that this next one is from is not a good movie, but I think it's trashed a lot more than it really deserves to be.
It's gonna be Batman Forever, right?
No. But in particular, this character was probably the best part of this movie. And that's Thal Sinestro from Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah, Sinestro was cool.
Played by
That film's not anywhere near as terrible as people made out.
No, played by Mark Strong is his name, right? I believe.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, Mark Strong. He was Sinestro every bit. I mean, granted, he didn't get the Yellow Lantern ring until the very last scene, but he was Sinestro. He played the character perfectly. He looked like the character. He acted like the character. He was the only one that was spot on their character in that movie. He did a great Sinestro. I'm really hoping when they get around to making that Green Lantern Corps movie in like 5 years, they pull him back in for Sinestro, I hope.
To be fair, there was a few in that weren't terrible in their roles. Like the Guardians looked and felt like the Guardians.
That's true.
Even Ryan Reynolds had a lot of Hal in him. They just toned him back a little bit, like they do in every superhero film.
He was kind of Hal, yeah. To be honest, before they cast him in that, I had always seen Ryan Reynolds as more of a Flash than a Green Lantern, like either Barry or Wally.
I could see that.
But at any rate, yeah, this is the movie is
I
a
always saw
little
him more of a Deadpool.
Well, yeah, everybody saw him as a Deadpool, but
I'm kidding.
But yeah, Green Lantern, it's underrated, and like I said, Sinestro is just great in that movie, and it's too bad we didn't get to see a sequel with him being full-on Yellow Lantern, yellow fear-powered Sinestro. But maybe if they bring him back for the Green Lantern Corps movie, they could get that. But he was great, even if he wasn't actually the villain of the movie. Boop. And over to Pew. Let's do the number ones. Bring it home, people.
See, you just stole my thunder, freaking Jim, because I was gonna say Sinestro.
Ha! Sorry.
Yeah, because I was gonna say how awesome I want to see him as a freaking Yellow Lantern. I fucking love Sinestro. I just love him in all pretty much iterations. I even have
Sinestro's
a tiny little when they did the DC Heroes and the Scribblenauts, I have a tiny little Sinestro.
Nice. See, this is why when we were at the library the other day, one of the things I was recommending to you was Injustice, because you didn't play the game, but in Injustice, when Superman goes evil, tries to take over the world, Sinestro and the Corps team up with him, and there's a point where Superman becomes a Yellow Lantern for a brief time.
Interesting.
It's kind of awesome. It's contrived as shit. Superman is God modded to unbelievability, but it's still entertaining to read, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's as good as other fanfics you can find online.
Pretty much. It's basically
a paid fanfic at that point.
It's pretty much a canon fanfic, yeah, basically.
It's only canon to the games, not to the main universes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Doesn't DC do that? Isn't everything like some alternate universe of canon?
There is, but that one doesn't really have a number.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay. I didn't know.
And whenever they've shown all of the universes, they haven't really shown that one in the crossovers.
Fair enough. So it's a game world.
Yeah, so that was mine.
Injustice 2 coming soon to your console. Anyway.
I'm bargain mint. Sorry, it's going to try and compete with Marvel v Capcom, which I have my own problems with that, but let's face it, that's going to sell.
They couldn't even be bothered to put the fucking X-Men in the game.
Oh, I thought they couldn't be bothered. They deliberately didn't want to put them in there.
Ah. Fair enough. Mole, number 1.
There's only one real choice for this, in my opinion. Others may have different ones, but how could you not go with Heath Ledger's Joker?
Nice.
Single best Joker. He has the fun, whimsical side, like, oh, do you want to see a magic trick? He has the mastermind where he's just manipulating Two-Face with the whole, oh, I'm not doing anything. It's completely up to you. Go ahead. He's murderous. He's violent. He's everything the Joker should be in almost all the incarnations. Played really, really well. That's the single best Joker we've had so far. Boom. Over to Jim.
Nice. You want to know where I got these scars? Anyway, so over to my number 1. And I agree with Bull's assessment of character, but not of portrayal. Because, obviously most kids find out about the DC universe fairly early on. I mean, they're all over TV and in media. It's kind of hard to miss, even more so today, what with all of the movies and whatnot. But back when I was growing up, before I saw any movies or anything other than maybe a clip here or there on TV, anything else, everything, a lot of what I knew was through Saturday morning cartoons that I watched as a little kid. And so in my mind, even though I've seen movies since then, I've seen other TV shows, seen all kinds of different things. Even though it's gotten a little worn out for just how long he's been doing it, in my mind, there is truly only one Joker, and that's Mark
animated
Hamill.
series.
And that's Mark Hamill's Joker from the animated series. To me, he always will be the Joker, just because that was the first Joker I knew. He nailed the character so perfectly in the animated series. Yeah, he's not as good as he used to be when he's doing it like the Arkham games and crap, even I'll admit that. It's at that point where he's been doing it so long that there's never really going to be changes over time. But
actually, his best incarnation of him doing it was from The Killing Joke.
I haven't seen The Killing Joke yet. I need to see that.
Yeah, like I said, he was an okay Joker. I just don't like the fact he doesn't kill.
That's true.
All he does is put that stupid Joker gas. I hate that gas.
Well, people don't die from the gas. They die with a smile.
That's
like the whole shtick.
They don't die, as Batman pointed out. They always find a cure for it.
Oh, okay.
It's Saturday morning censorship. It's like on the old Spider-Man show when everyone always used to fire lasers. Pew, pew. And you're like, come on, the cops don't have laser guns.
Are you sure they don't have laser
Or
guns?
Ninja Turtles when they replaced Michelangelo's nunchuck with a grappling hook.
Oh, God.
Kids wouldn't hit each other with it. And you're like, oh, stop it.
Jesus. Yeah, or when on your side they changed the name to Hero Turtles because ninjas are bad.
Yep. Well, that was a good thing because then people had something to differentiate the 2013 and 2003 show with the original. Because Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That works.
So it helped in that way, but yeah.
That's good. But yeah, so Mark Hamill's Joker has always in my mind been the Joker. He's, and the same goes for Kevin Conroy's Batman, who was laying on his face there. They've always been the characters to me because they were the first incarnations that I really knew, the first ones that I was exposed to, and so they've always kind of been embedded in my subconscious. That's why when Arkham Asylum first came out, and I think it was actually I think it was actually you, Mo, that recommended that I play that game originally when it came out.
Arkham Asylum was awesome.
And I remember I played that game, and I'm like, okay, this looks really cool. I like the villains, and then I actually heard the voices, and I went, oh my God, it's them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's
I will say I don't like Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Which is fair enough. I know he's gotten very mixed reactions to Batman over the years. I know the biggest complaint is always that his Batman and his Bruce are the same voice. He doesn't change it up at all.
That's why I said to you, is that portrayal is... I'm like, no, it's kind of shit when he gets to his Bruce Wayne part. His Batman is top-notch, but his Bruce Wayne's subpar.
Yeah.
It's sort of like I'd rate it the same as like Brandon Routh's Superman. Okay. Where one side is brilliant, but the other side's eh.
No, my Batman.
Right, his was the other way, right? He was really good at Clark, but he sucked as Superman.
Kind of, yeah.
Fair enough.
That's why my favorite versions of Batman was either Begins with Bale, Ben Affleck, or hell, even the Telltale series with Troy Baker, because they used the voice thing, so his Batman did sound different.
Yeah, that's a really good incarnation. I do like that one too. All right. Well, this has been the final countdown, and this is the beginning of what we are going to be referring to, and the suggestion again of Chriz the Mole, as the upcoming 2017 will be the year of villains. Every final countdown for this coming year, all 12 of them, for each month, will be focused on doing a countdown of villains from some franchise, or some version of some franchise.
Or, because like you said, we might run out of franchises, it could be other stuff like Villain Lairs, which would be multi-franchises.
So villain themed, though.
Yeah, every final countdown will be villain themed for this year. 2017 will be the year of villains. For the final countdown, anyway.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for
and
joining me.
We will be doing Marvel villains, people.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
In case people are like, oh, why is it DC? Why isn't it Marvel? We're getting there. Like, we're gonna get to game villains at another time.
Yep, we're gonna get through all that. That'll be a lot of fun. So, with that, thank you, for joining me for the countdown, as always.
Whoop.
Yay!
All right. I am James Phoenix, and we will see you next month for the final countdown. Ba-da-bam.
We'll